Hi, and welcome to Claire's Yoga and Wellness channel. I have some really exciting news, guys. We have officially launched our mclaireyoga.com website. On there, we have some fantastic memberships where you pay a one-off fee for the rest of 2023. We have the beginner, intermediate, and advanced practices. We also have the kiddies Yogi Bears, which is really cute, where kiddies get to do adventures while being on their mat and learning how to move their bodies, but then at the end learn how to relax and be still. And then we also have something called the Yogi Bells. You might have seen some of my other videos before, which we incorporate a kettlebell and our yoga asanas. So you get the real benefits of the kettlebell by loading the weights. So we get to tone and shape our bodies, and then all of the beautiful benefits we get from yoga, where you get the mobility and flexibility side of it. So that's our memberships. And then we are also doing some really great one-on-one coaching packages. So we have our life coaching, which covers anything in your lives that you're either struggling with, but also things that you're wanting to strive for. We're able to put life goals plans together and really work with you one-on-one to help you target those goals and achieve them. Then we also do the accountability and wellness coaching, which really gives you that little nudge and helps you to be motivated and to get up and go when so many of us find it so difficult to really get going on our wellness and also on our exercise journey. You know, sometimes just getting into shape can be super difficult and not really knowing where to start or what to do. So our accountability and wellness coaching is brilliant because we contact you every single day. We give you that push in the right direction. We help you when you're struggling, but we also cover all of the wellness things like your sleeping habits, your eating habits, stress levels, and give you tools in order to reach all of those goals that you're really striving for. Then we also have the athletes wellness coaching packages, which is really specific for athletes and helping them to enhance performance. And so what we do there is we gear it much more towards their lifestyles and unique to whichever sport or professional activity they're doing. So please, guys, go check it out. There's loads on there. Have a look. Please make sure that if you are interested in our coaching packages, that you contact us first before you make payment. Reason for that is we have limited spaces. We really focus on quality, not quantity. So we don't have availability for loads and loads of people all at once. We want to make sure that those that do join our coaching programs get the maximum benefits from it. So we don't want to only be able to provide a little bit of our time because we've got so many. So it is really important that you contact us first. Our email is on the website, and then make sure that you book with us before you do payment. And then please, go have a look at it and have fun. And we've also got some free classes on there too, so you can have a go at those as well. Anyway, so like I said, mclaireyoga.com, go check it out. It's officially up and running. Okay, let's get back to our class today. So today's yoga flow is something a little bit challenging to begin with, but then I want to move into opening and allowing some areas of our body that we find get quite tight and stiff to just release and relax. So we're going to fire up the body a little bit to begin with, and then we're just going to slow it all down and sit in some poses for a little longer just to get the benefits of opening and releasing that tension. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. We'll start in a child's pose. So we're just going to sink our chest towards the floor, reach our fingers to the front of the mat, and then just place your forehand in between your hands on the floor. And we're just going to take a few deep breaths here, guys, and just really set our intention for the rest of the practice. We want to really be present here on the mat. We want to give everything we have to this time, not worrying about what we have to do, where we have to go, what we should have done. It's all about now. It's not going to be a long flow. So I want you to really focus on what you want out of this practice and ground yourself and be present. And we're just going to come on up. You're going to place your left hand in between the center of your body, and we're just going to reach our right hand towards the ceiling, adding a nice little twist here. Come back to the center, change sides, place your right hand in the center, and reach your left hand towards the ceiling. Come back to neutral. Come up onto all fours into tabletop. Just move your hips side to side. Let's get into the hip joint, really starting to add a bit of movement into the body and waken everything up. We're going to add some circles here, coming forward and round. So we're also getting into the wrists here. If this is too challenging for you, then please just stay in your tabletop for now. Make sure your fingers are spread apart and you're really pushing through the palms of your hands as you're coming forward and making those circular motions. Change direction. And make sure you're engaging your core while you're doing this as well. Pulling your navel towards your spine. One last time. Come back to center. Here we're going to add our cat-cows. So you're just going to tilt your tailbone, look up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to round your spine, bringing your chin towards your chest, pushing through your hands. And then do the opposite, tilting your tailbone. You can do this at your own pace. We're just going to do and last one. Come back to neutral, tuck your toes, and then push up into downward facing dog. Here we're going to start to speed things up a little bit as we move through our flows. But to begin with, let's just walk your feet on the spot here, alleviating any tension you might have in the back of your hamstrings. Coming up onto your toes, so you can also stretch out the toes here and the bottoms of your feet. Come back to neutral. If you're ready, you can either jump to the front of your mat or you can take a few steps forward to the front, coming into your standing forward fold. You might need to have a little bend in the knee if it's early on in the day or you're still a bit tight. Again, we're just going to walk our knees on the spot, or bend our knees one at a time, just getting deeper into the hamstrings here. If you'd like to, you can also place your palms behind you, adding a deeper stretch here as you allow your torso to fall heavy. Bend your knees and then slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, coming into our mountain pose. Really ground through the bottoms of your feet here, engage your core, have your palms facing to the front of the room. I'm just going to add some circles here with your shoulders. Bringing your shoulders up towards your ears. And really big inhales and exhales. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Then reach your arms above your head, interlace your fingers, pointing your index fingers towards the ceiling, and we're just going to add a little back bend here if it feels good for you. Come back to the center and then reach your fingertips towards the right side of the room. Come back through center, add another little back bend here. Back through the center and reach your fingertips towards the left side of the room. Come back to the center, one last back bend. Then we're just going to swan dive back down into our standing forward fold. Then come halfway lift. Place your hands on the floor, bend your knees, and if you're ready, jump back into plank. If not, you can take a few steps back there. Come through your chaturanga, upward facing dog, and then push back into downward facing dog. Lift your left leg into three-legged downward dog and come forward, knee to nose, and extend. Knee to nose, extend. We're going to do this 3 more times. And last one. Step forward in between your hands, coming into high lunge. Drop your back knee and just come on up, reaching your fingers again, interlacing your fingers, pointing your index fingers towards the ceiling, and adding another little back bend here if it feels good. Then bring your hands next to your foot, extend the back leg into high lunge, and we're going to push up into crescent lunge here. Then come forward, step back into plank, and through your chaturanga. And push back into downward facing dog. Breathe here, and then we'll repeat on the opposite leg. Extend your right leg into three-legged downward dog. Bring knee to nose, and then extend back up again. And again, we're going to do this another 3 times. And last one. Step forward into your high lunge. Really feel it in your hip flexor here. Drop your back knee, coming into our low lunge. Come on up, interlacing your fingers, point your index fingers towards the ceiling, and add that little back bend. Then bring your hands forward, place your hands on the outside of your right foot and extend that back leg into high lunge, and then push on up into your crescent lunge here. Then come forward, back into plank, and through your flow. Upward facing dog, try and keep your thighs off the floor, and then push back into your downward facing dog. Breathe here. Step forward with your right foot coming into warrior one. Have your back foot slightly adjacent. Reach your fingers towards the ceiling. You can either keep your palms together or your arms open, whichever feels best for you. Come forward into high lunge. Extend into pyramid. Just hold here for a second. And anybody that would like to add a little twist here, you can also reach your right hand towards the ceiling. Come back into pyramid, bend into high lunge, step back into plank, and let's go through our flow. Again, step forward with your left foot coming into warrior one. Reach your hands up towards the ceiling, either hands apart or hands together. Then come forward, pivot the back foot and come into high lunge. And then extend that left leg coming into pyramid. Try and keep a nice long back here. Make sure your hips are square, not at an angle. Add that twist if you'd like to here. Really lengthening through your spine. Come forward, bend into your high lunge. Really sink your hips here. Place your hands, step back into plank through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog and push back into downward facing dog. Step forward, pivot your back foot, come into warrior two. Keep your shoulders down, make sure your knee isn't over the front of your toes. Have a nice long line from the fingers to the opposite fingers and really sink your hips down here. We're just going to pulse our arms behind us. We're going to do something what we call a fire breath. So as we pulse, we just want to exhale as we pull our core inwards. Well done. Windmill your arms, pivot that back foot, come into your high lunge again. Hold it here. Here we're just going to tap into low lunge and extend. Just adding that nice stretch in the hip flexor here. And just deepening the stretch as you sink your hips down towards the floor. 2 more. Last one. Step back into plank, through your chaturanga, upward facing dog, and push back into downward facing dog. Step forward with your left foot, pivot the back foot and come into your warrior two on the opposite side. Again, bring your shoulders down. Make sure your knee isn't over your toes. And again, we're going to do that fire breath while we pulse backwards. If you find it difficult to do the arm movement at the same time, you can keep your arms stationary and just do the fire breath. And really think about pulling your navel as you're doing it, fast, rapid exhales through the mouth, pulling your navel in towards your spine. And off we go. Well done. Windmill your arms, pivot your back foot, come into your high lunge. Again, sinking those hips and really feeling. If you'd like to add a little rock here, you can, just to deepen the stretch. And then we're just going to drop the knee into low lunge, extend into high lunge. And again, if you do find these too difficult, you can just stay either in a low lunge or in a high lunge. Three more. And last one. Step back into plank. This time we're going to do that same thing with the fire breath, where we're going to exhale rapidly through our mouth as we're pulling our navel in. And we're going to go for 20. Well done. Through your chaturanga, upward facing dog, and push back into child's pose. Here we're going to start to slow things down a bit, and we're going to add some of those deeper stretches that I was talking about. So before we carry on, I just want you to stay in your child's pose, but this time I want you to open your knees towards the outside of the mat, so you get a deeper stretch through the groin and through the hips, and sink your chest towards the mat. And if it's within your practice, you can also put your forehead on the floor. And if you'd like to also get a little deeper into your triceps, you can bring your hands into prayer position and bring them over the top of your head. Extend your arms. Then come on up, bring your knees together. We're going to come into our frog, but one-legged frog. So you're going to extend your right leg and bring your left leg to the outside. And you're just going to sit here and you can feel your hips opening. Make sure your hips are nice and square. And if this feels very tight, for some people this might be really difficult, then please just come up a little bit, even if you're just here. Just bear with it as long as you can, and then come on out, and then come and join us again. This does take practice. These are uncomfortable positions, but they're really good if we persevere and we allow ourselves to work with our bodies and slowly but surely allow that tension and stiffness to release. Then extend your left leg and just bring your right leg into that half-legged frog. Sink your hips towards the floor. Then you're just going to extend that back leg. Just move your hips side to side. And then for those that feel like they'd like to try, we're going to come into our full frog. So extend your legs out towards the opposite sides of the room. Have your feet, they can either tuck in a little bit or point your toes out. Come up onto your forearms, and you're just going to allow your hips to relax towards the mat. And like I said, this can be really uncomfortable. When I first started to do this, I couldn't even get my hips anywhere near the floor. So it does take a lot of time. Some people are hyper flexible and this will be really easy. Others store a lot of tension and stiffness in the hip joints, and this can be really awful. So just work with your bodies. If you need to keep coming back and doing this video or doing it in your own time, then please do so. Like I said before, you can just do it, come out, and then come back in again until you feel more comfortable. But these poses are really good for those that are wanting to do the box splits and just to open your hips up. So it's really important, though, to spend time in these poses. It's not something you want to rush through. You need to sit in these poses for quite a bit of time to allow that tension to release and to add a bit more mobility into the hip joint. What I sometimes like to do is add a bit of movement here too, just to help open things up. But some people don't like this. So you can add a little bit of movement back and forth if it feels good for you, or you can stay in stationary frog. Then you're just going to bring your toes together, and we're just going to come into our child pose variation in frog. And then you can sink down and come forward. Again, you can add movement here just to deepen it, or you can just stay in this position. And take big, deep breaths to allow that tension to dissipate. When you're ready, just push back, bring your knees together and come forward into your child's pose. And you can bring your hands towards the left side of the room and just sink your hips towards the right. Come back through the center, bring your hands towards the right side and drop your hips towards the left. Come back through the center, bring your forehead towards the mat. And slowly sit up, and we're just going to come to the center of the mat and just add some spinal movements here where we just roll down and then push our chest back up again. Then slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. Coming onto your back, you're just going to bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. Pull your knee in, take your fingers behind the back of your left thigh and bring your heel towards your forehead. And you can use that right elbow just to push out the knee to deepen the stretch here. Just getting into our glutes. Then come back down, extend your right leg. You can also take hold of your leg and just give it a little bit of a pull towards you, just to give you that little stretch in the back of your hamstrings. You can also point and flex to get into the calf here. And then bring your right knee down, extend your left leg, bringing your ankle on top of your right knee. Again, interlacing your fingers behind your right knee and then just using that left elbow to push out the knee to deepen the stretch. And you can either keep your head off the mat or on the mat, whichever you feel you get a deeper stretch. Then come back down, extend the left leg. Again, you can bring it in, add some points and flexes, whatever feels good for you at this point. Whatever you think your body needs as we're finishing off our flow today. And then come back. We're just going to extend our legs, coming into our final position, Shavasana. Allow your arms to fall to the outside of your body. Let your legs fall heavy. As you feel, close your eyes and you can feel your body sinking into the mat. I want you to focus on your breathing here, keeping yourself present. I know when we get to Shavasana, so many of us think it's not beneficial, so we just turn off the video and off we go with our day. But it really does hold so many benefits. So please persevere and just stay till the end of the video. And as you keep your eyes closed, I want you to focus on allowing each muscle to get heavier and heavier, sinking further into the mat. And any thoughts you may be holding, just allow them to come and go like butterflies, flying in and flying out. And if our thoughts start to wander, again, come back to the focus on your breathing. Just let them come and go. And please feel free to continue with your Shavasana, or if you'd like to end your practice with me today, start to waken up the body, moving your fingers and toes. You can take one last big reach over the top of your head. Take a deep inhale through your nose, and then slowly exhale everything out as you roll over and meet me in the center of your mat in a comfortable position. Thank you very much for joining me today on our fast beginning and then our slow ending of a flow, just to help you really feel like you've had a workout, but also to feel like you're allowed your body to release some of that stiffness that you might be holding in your hips and in your lower back. Please don't forget what I said about checking out mclairyoga.com. I will leave in the notes at the bottom, I will leave the actual website so you can click on it and have a look. And like I said, there's so much there. So have a look and see which things appeal to you. And if they do, wonderful. And if not, please tell friends and family about it as well. If you hear that they're looking for some help with wellness coaching, or if you have friends that are athletes or need a bit of life coaching advice. Okay, thanks so much, guys. And also like and leave a comment below so I can make more videos just like this as well. Have a wonderful day, guys. See you soon. Take care.